Welcome to Eat Good, and I'm your host, Kirly Sue, and this is the show where you, the viewers, request quick and easy to make tasty vegan dishes. Now today's recipe is for vegan chicken breasts. Did you know you can make vegan chicken breasts? I bet you didn't. So the kind of flavor palette you want to get from this, you require a particular kind of seasoning that's a fresh seasoning. So I'm going to make that now. So for it, you're going to need, it's called wet seasoning or mild jack seasoning. You're going to need an onion. I've got here, so I'm going to blend all of them together in the food processor, but I just chop the onion, roughly chop it first of all, so it just doesn't put too much pressure on the food processor. Then I've got 9 cloves of garlic. I'll tell you where to find the full recipe later on in the show, so keep watching to the end. I've got a piece of ginger here, so I'll just chop that up a bit so that it blends quicker. Then I've got some scallions or spring onions. So I'm just gonna take the root off, put that over here, and just roughly chop them. Like that. Put those stringy bits there and put that into the blender. And this is what's gonna give it a really lovely, rich flavor. So then I've got some basil here. Just pull some leaves off and pop that in. This is the Thai variety of basil. Then you're going to add some mixed herbs, some brown sugar, which doesn't want to come out. Let's give it a hand. Some paprika, onion powder, some lemon juice, which is good because that's what will preserve it, a little bit of coconut oil, and that's some more basil in there. Just put a little bit of that in there. And I think that's everything. So all we're going to do now is blend it until smooth. Just put this on. So now the lid is on, we're going to blend until smooth. Just check. Oh yeah, it's done a good job. Couple more seconds. Tell you what, let's scrape down the sides. That's what you're supposed to do. So scrape down the sides just in case there's any bits that got loose. Make sure it's all really well incorporated. Place this back. And that's it, it's done. So I'm going to put this into a container because we're going to use it for this recipe twice. So let me just take out the blade in the middle for safety. Pop that here, and then we're going to look at that. It smells wonderful, and this will give you an amazing flavor boost to your dish. There we go. And this is good because when you make the seasoning yourself, then you know exactly what's gone into it. And this will keep in the fridge for about a month. Mine never stays for a month because I always use it up, but if you made it in a big batch, it will stay for about a month, and you can use it to season so many different dishes. Right, so that's that done. All right, put this to the side. So what we're gonna need now are these, which are some of my favorite mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms. So we're gonna need 4 of those. Yeah, 4 of those. And we're going to first of all take off the tops. So just slice just under the little thing at the top and put those to the side. Those can be used for something else in another dish. So you can just, you don't have to throw them away and just leave them to one side. Now, in order to make the chicken breast, we have to make sure these are sliced really thinly. So we have this, which is a vegetable slicer, also known as a mandolin. And you're just going to take the mushroom and slice it really thinly like that. And as you can see, when you slice it, it comes out really thin, like this. And you do that with all 4 of the mushrooms. And then what we're going to do after is shape it into a chicken breast. Now, sometimes people say, well, if you're vegan, why do you want something that tastes like meat? Just because you're vegan doesn't mean you didn't like the taste of meat. It just means that you don't want to eat meat anymore, but you still like that flavor. So that's why we make our own chicken breast. So there you go. So that's the one nearly done. And if they break off a little bit, that's fine. So this one is nearly done. So when it gets down to the end, it can be a little more tricky, so you can use a knife. So that's that one. And we do the next one. And just be really careful with this that you don't slice your finger. So just be very mindful of what you're doing. I wouldn't multitask when I'm doing this. Well, actually I am because I'm talking to you, but besides that, just do it very carefully and just slice it into those shapes just like that. And you can switch it over, turn it over. That's like that. So you can see we're building up a nice pile here. And what we're going to do with this is boil it in with some leaves. I usually use sage leaves, but today I'm using fennel leaves to boil it with, because when you boil it with the leaves, it starts to build the flavor palette. Here we go, nearly done. And in order to get it that crispy crunch outside, we're going to use the rice paper. Pop it in some water to do that. So we're nearly done here. So you can do it there. So let me put the pot on the water so it starts to boil before we're finished. There, so you can see it's all really thin. The thinner the better, because you're going to kind of mold it into a shape. So you don't want it to be too thick. There you go. And we're done. That didn't take too much time at all. I won't risk it. I'll just use the knife for this one. There, and we're done. So this little mandolin did a good job. Put that to the side. So now we need to boil these with some of these leaves. So I'm just going to take a few leaves like that. I think that many should be fine. Give them a rinse. And then we're going to pop these into the pot. And then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of our wet seasoning for it to boil with. So we need this to boil for 10 minutes. So you just stir this. And you just leave that for 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back in 10 minutes, drain it, and then mold it into the chicken breast shapes. So this has been boiling for 10 minutes, so now we're going to drain it and start to assemble our chicken breasts. So just drain that. Back in. And then we've got these rice paper sheets that I've got in here soaking. So you just make sure you soak it for about 3 to 5 minutes. Then you place it on a board like this. And then you're going to take the slices of marinated and boiled mushroom and layer them into almost like a chicken breast shape, like this. So do it like that. And then once you've done that, pull the rice paper sheet across and then across again, like that. Turn it over, place it on the baking sheet that's already been oiled, and then you're going to brush it with some of the seasoning that we made earlier, like that. So that's going to give it some extra flavor. And we're using the rice paper sheets because that's how it's going to make it crispy, because we're going to bake these in the oven. And I'm going to keep going until we've used up all of our mushroom. I've got another one here. So you just take it out, hold the edges, drain, place it on the board, take out your slices of mushroom to build your chicken breast shape, vegan chicken breast shape, obviously. Do it like that. It's assembling. There you go. Pull the sheet over. Pull it in tight. So it's like that. Place on the baking tray and brush with your delicious seasoning. And these are actually quite quick to make, and they're not expensive either, and they're very healthy. So there you go. There's a second one. We're going to do one more. So you just soak that, pop that in there. I think we can get 2 more out of this, maybe 1. Pop it in here. So the rice paper sheet takes about 3 to 5 minutes in here. So just pop it in there and press it down. Sometimes it sticks up, so you just press it down. And you'll feel it when it's ready, because it will change from being rigid to very soft. So you put it in there like that. So while we're waiting for that, we will start picking out our mushroom slices to assemble to our chicken breast. Okay, this is nearly ready. Just pop it over. You can keep going, and obviously you can make this in bulk. It does freeze as well, you can do that. And these are really nice. Now, if there's certain seasonings that you put into your chicken that I haven't included in here, you're more than welcome to add that to it as well. Right, here we go. Right, it's ready now. Put it on there. Like this. Quickly assemble. You don't have to use tweezers, I just like to use them. Pull the rice paper across, pull across again, making a little parcel, tuck in the little sides, brush again with a delicious seasoning, like that. Yeah. There we go. And we can squeeze out one more. So we've got another one here, the final one. Pop it on here, because we don't want to waste anything. So just put these on here. We do not leave the leaf. Just build it like this. And these are great as well as a side dish or a main dish, or if you're having a party or a gathering of people and you want some kind of finger food, this is a really good one to use as well. There we go. Right, so our last one. Pull it across, pull it tight. Don't want it to pop out. Do that, pull it over, put it on here. Our lovely wet seasoning or mild jerk seasoning, put on here. Spread it out as much as you can because you want the flavor to go everywhere. Right, so now we're ready to put these into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to put it in for 15 to 20 minutes on 180. So they've been in the oven for 20 minutes and they're ready now to come out. So let's get our vegan chicken breasts. They smell wonderful. So we're going to transfer them onto our platter. It's got one. Oh. They look tasty, super delicious. And the final one. There you go. And there we have our vegan chicken breasts. And they're succulent, easy to make, and bursting with lots of flavor. For more programs like this, go to Hope Channel Southeast Asia or follow on hopetv.asia.
Just for my opinion, I think vegan diet is a good thing, good way to eat because we have to avoid meat. We just eat vegetable, fruits. I think all of this make our health get better. I have think about it before. I'm trying to become a vegetarian. It's hard for me because when I was young, I always eat meat, and when I'm trying, it's hard. When we saw a food that made from milk, the smell that we always smell, it's hard to try to avoid it. But it's not hard if we want to control ourselves and focus on the vegan diet. I have a question. How we can bring non-vegan try vegan diet? Thank you for answer.
And now we come to the viewers' question section where you, the viewers, have sent in a ton of really great questions and I answer as many of them as I possibly can. Today's question is, how do you get people who have never tried much vegan food to actually try it if they're very kind of not keen on trying it? So I'll give you a couple of examples where I've done it. Now, I don't think you should trick people, but I had some friends come over and stay over at my house. We were having like a girly weekend and I gave them some bun. Now I'm of Jamaican descent. My parents are from Jamaica, and in Jamaica we have something called Jamaican bun, which is kind of like a dark brown bun, and that's generally served with cheese. So I didn't say anything to my friends. None of them are vegan. I just put vegan cheese on it, the vegan cheese slice. So when I served it, my friend, first of all, she said, "This tastes like cheese, and I think it is cheese, but it can't be cheese because I know you wouldn't buy cheese. But this is cheese, but is it cheese?" So I said, "No, it's vegan cheese." And she said, but it tastes nice. I thought, okay. I'm sure if I had said to her, this is some vegan cheese, she'd be like, oh no, I don't want to try it. Because people have a certain mindset. Sometimes if it's vegan, they think it's immediately going to taste terrible. It's with any kind of food. Some varieties taste terrible and some varieties taste good and some are kind of mediocre, neither one way nor the other. So that's what I did in that scenario. I've also been in other scenarios where I was working somewhere and they said, oh, everybody bring in something baked for a bake sale. And I bought in some vegan cupcakes. So there was some stuff left over after the bake sale and there was a couple of cupcakes and somebody went, I'm gonna try these cupcakes because they look really nice. And then somebody else said, oh, Suzanne made them, me, Kirly Sue. And they went, but she's vegan, so how can they taste nice? And he said, but I tasted them and they tasted normal. So I just had to laugh and I said, if they're made well, they should taste nice regardless of whether they're vegan or not. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna buy your vegan cookbook because I didn't know that vegan food could actually taste good. So a lot of the time, what you're battling with is not necessarily facts, it's people's perception of what they're going to try. And some people just think, oh, no, I don't eat vegan food. And I get this quite a lot. People say, no, I don't eat vegan food because it's too weird. It doesn't taste good. And I think, but what are they calling vegan food? Because if you eat fruit, that's vegan. If you eat vegetables, that's vegan. If you eat rice, rice is vegan unless you put something in it that isn't. Most of what people eat is actually suitable for vegans. It's just the meat part and the fish part and the dairy part, but there's so many other things that you can eat. So this is just their perception of what they think vegan food is about, and they really haven't given it a chance. So I think you don't have to necessarily volunteer the information unless they specifically ask. So it's not tricking them, it's you're just not volunteering the information at this point. And then afterwards, if they like it, you can share with them, or you don't have to say anything. They can just ask. If they ask, then you can tell them the information that it is vegan. But I always say to people, it's good to try it. So if I'm getting somebody to try something and they're a bit skeptical about trying vegan food, I say, look, you're more than welcome to try it. I won't be offended if you say, look, I don't like it, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have any more. So it's perfectly fine. So I give them the option that if they really don't like it, they won't feel obliged that they'll have to finish it. So it's the mindset that people bring to these things most of the time, not necessarily that they don't like it. And sometimes people say they don't like things, and have they ever tried it? No. So you have to ask them, have you ever actually tried this? Because I had a cashew nut loaf, and I had a relative who said, oh, no, I don't like cashew nut loaves. And I thought, but I know that person likes cashews. So I said, look, just try it. If you don't like it, you can spit it out, that's fine, I won't be offended. He tried it and then said, have you got any more? So you see, what you're battling with is perception most of the time. So I hope that answers your question. If you want more recipes like the one in today, you can get it in the book based on today's show called Eat Good, available from Amazon, wherever you are in the world. You've been watching Eat Good. Keep watching this series for more great tasty recipes. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.